Welcome to Tech Talks, Evolving Distribution. I'm Corey Hayes, and with me is Bill Rosado. Today, we're exploring how digital transformation is reshaping the distribution industry.
That's right. From e-commerce platforms to CRM tools, we talk with industry experts about how distribution can embrace these changes and thrive in the ever-changing space.
Whether you're just getting started or looking for new insights, we've got you covered. Today's episode is packed with information to help you navigate the digital shift.
So let the tech talk begin.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. Your host, Corey Hayes, as always, alongside the one and only Bill Rosado. Bill, how you doing today?
Oh, just wonderful. Here we are, like everything's turning green. It's warming up. We're getting a whole lot of rain, but other than that, man, things are great.
Other than that, no tornadoes yet. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
But I'm sure one's coming sooner or later, unfortunately. And also, we have Richard Seller. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We had our first tornado watch of the season last night, so I'm a little ahead of you guys. But
where are you located?
Outside of that, yeah.
Where are you located at?
Outside of Dallas, Texas, just north of
Okay, yeah. All right, well, fingers crossed for you as well that no tornadoes this season. Nobody gets hit. Nobody gets hurt. So
that would be great.
Thank you so much for being on. So you're the founder and the CEO of StellarOne. And before we get into our conversation today, why don't you just tell us a little bit about that journey of starting StellarOne, what it is that StellarOne does, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. I'll start with what we do. So StellarOne is an ERP reseller. We're currently an Acumatica partner. That's all we do is Acumatica. But journey started a long time ago. I started in the industry in 1997 as a consultant doing manufacturing consulting, and way back when JD Edwards was a thing before Oracle bought them, and have been in this industry for a long time. And over the years, I just kept hearing problems and things customers didn't like. So this is kind of a culmination to answer all of those complaints and problems that customers had. So StellarOne, there's a precursor company, StellarOne Consulting. We were an SAP Business One partner. Couldn't get where I wanted to go in terms of the customer experience and journey in the SAP ecosystem. So we, in the last couple of years, moved over to Acumatica and are focusing solely on Acumatica as a solution.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, just this is the first time we've really got to sit down with you and talk with you. It's an awesome name. I mean, StellarOne, it just kind of has that pop, and I really like the name StellarOne. That's super cool.
I wish there were a really cool story about how it came about, but it really, my wife's name is Teresa, and one of our banking logins kept autocorrecting her name T Seller to Stellar. Okay. So it actually came from there, oddly enough.
That's funny. That's super funny.
You named your company after a typo. After autocorrect.
Yeah, after technology mishap. Yes.
Well, hey, weren't chocolate chip cookies made on accident? So sometimes the best things come from, just absolute mistakes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, being a part of the Tech Talks conversation. I know that our community will really benefit from you being on and just hearing from your perspective. So why don't we just go ahead, jump in, ask the questions away. So what is one thing that distributors believe about technology that is just completely wrong?
My favorite thing to talk about is that the focus is, when looking at technology, to focus on the actual technology solution and not the partner that's helping you implement that technology. What we've found over the years, I've been in the Sage world and the SAP world and the Acumatica world, and the technology is not all that different. I hate to use the word commodity, but they're very similar. Same thing with EDI providers, 3PL solutions. There's not that much differentiation between them. What really is going to set one solution apart from the other is the partner that's helping you implement and use that solution long term, and that relationship you have with that partner. That's more than 50% of the solution, and people tend to overlook that. Like the technologies are great and they're evolving quickly, and AI is coming. It's still going to come down to the people behind the technology.
Yeah. Well, let's dive a little deeper into that question because I think that that's something that we have heard is just the people matter, the people behind the technology, fostering good relationships absolutely is imperative. But what do you think, just from your perspective and in your experience, what fosters a healthy relationship with your partner? Like what is it that you're looking for in partnerships, and how do you know this is a good partner that I have?
Yeah, the key for us, for a good relationship from a reseller side, and I actually sat down with a customer at lunch yesterday and we talked about this. They asked what would make us a good customer.
Mm.
And it's really that having, from the partner side, we want somebody who's going to engage with us. You're not afraid to talk to us or call us. You want us involved in helping craft the solutions. You're willing to lean on our advice. You don't always have to listen to everything we say, but at least ask us, right? Don't just run off and do something and come back and say, oh, we made this mess. But that causes friction in the relationship, makes it harder.
Yeah.
From a customer side, what I would be looking for is look for partners who are truly customer focused, and everybody says they are. So how do you identify that? And the way you identify that is, how do they go to market? How do they interact with you? How do they bill you? Are they on a time and materials basis? If they are they really customer focused? Because I guarantee you their consultants are probably incented to generate revenue and bill more hours. That's not a customer focused business model. It's really hard to develop a relationship in that environment because as a customer, I feel like every time I pick up the phone, I'm going to get an invoice for that 15-minute call, even though it was a simple question. Oh, nothing could be put more friction in a relationship than time and materials billing.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, and that's just one, but it's a customer that, or a partner that's looking for a strategic relationship, meaning they're scheduling quarterly meetings with you to talk about what your business is doing and how it's growing and how they can support you, not because they want more sales, because if they're not on a T&M model, they're not really generating revenue. It's because they really want your business to succeed and they're focused on the outcomes and measuring those outcomes. And that's hard to find.
And so you're spot on, right? On how you build a relationship and a partnership with a vendor. So it's not a vendor, right? It's actually somebody that is there to help you win and help you grow and succeed. There are plenty of people out there, you're right, selling very similar products to what you sell and what we sell. And it is all about today, right? The instant gratification, not the long-term relationship. So you're spot on.
And you said the exact right thing. That word vendor drives me crazy. And it's in the software that way, but I keep telling our team, vendors sell hot dogs, suppliers and partners sell relationships. You're not selling hot dogs. It's not transactional.
That's awesome. I'm going to go ahead and keep that. Yeah, that's awesome.
I've thought the same thing before when people call us vendors, because I'm a big baseball guy. And so I go to baseball games all the time and I'm thinking, hot dog, hot dog.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that just grates on my nerves.
All right, so let's take it a different direction.
Sure.
What separates organizations, distributors that succeed from technology compared to those that struggle with it? What separates the two?
Yeah, I always try and distill it down to the biggest thing you could do. And in this area, for me, it's the people who are successful are adopting the technology the way it was written and not trying to customize it. These technologies have evolved over dozens of years, and they are the way they are because many, many thousands of companies are using them successfully. Why would you want to go in and customize and change that when you've got this ability to implement something that's going to help you scale and grow the way it is? Like the biggest inhibitor to success I see is what I call vanity projects. So it's either the owner or a functional business area lead that's got this awesome scheme they've developed for pricing structure or commissions or availability calculations, and they can't let go of that because it's so near and dear to them, and that causes so much pain and cost and delay and ongoing maintenance that it's just not worth it. Use what's in front of you, adopt what you've selected, and run with it.
That's funny. Like a lot of times we get questions or not really questions, right? Someone wanting to do something. So sometimes it's in the form of a question, or sometimes it's in the form of, this is what we want. And our question that we turn around and ask is, so what is the end result you're looking for? Because
Right.
you might not have the right path. There might be a path that's already been laid out for you. Let's find that path, right? And let's not create a new path and venture through off of the path. And that's a lot more expensive and a lot bigger struggle.
Yes. And it's just going to cause you issues in the future because nobody knows how to support that. You're a one-off.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what people don't realize. And that's actually what I was going to pull out. I think that sometimes they hear the word customization and they think that it's tailor fitted to them, which it can be, and it sure, that's fine. But what does that actually mean from a support standpoint? When things go wrong, how are you going to receive support? How are you going to get the bug fixed? If it's really specific to you, chances are the person that's trying to fix it on the vendor's end, on the partner's end, has never actually come across that bug before, come across that particular issue, and it makes it so complicated. So I'll draw back to where you were talking about finding the right people to work with and realizing that technology more or less is a commodity and that a lot of platforms, a lot of different partners have similar technology capabilities, but finding the people that will be able to give you a dash of realism and say this is actually what's best for your business, and maybe even see some tension in that relationship, but a healthy kind of tension. Not
Right.
just saying, "Yes, we promise you the world and the moon both." I think that's really important, and I love that you pointed that out.
And that's where the partnership comes from instead of the transactional relationship. In the transactional relationship, you say jump, and the vendor, the partner says, yeah, sure, because you're going to pay me for it. In a partnership, the way we do it, we're on a subscription model for our customers. So whatever they want, we're doing under the subscription, but it's in our best interest to make their lives and our lives easier.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's a
it's
great point.
you got to have that tension to do that.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And we're kind of already hitting on this, so I'm I'm a little interested to see your take here. But what's a popular trend within distribution technology that you just think is overhyped? And maybe use an example if you have one.
So it's everybody's talking about AI right now,
Mhm.
and everybody thinks AI is just going to take over a lot of the manual processes. And we had an example today in our company where I love our software team. They're great. They're so motivated and awesome. But they went out and prototyped something and they were very proud of it. And I looked at it and said, okay, great. But in my mind, I didn't say this to them, but you you didn't talk to any of the subject matter experts to understand what it should be doing. You just solved the problem you thought was there, which had no relationship to the real problem.
Mm.
You can't get away from having people who understand the fundamentals of what you're trying to do, regardless of how good AI gets. I go back, oh my gosh, I'll go back 30 years. Back when I started in this industry, one of the big things that we were encouraged to do as consultants was to get our APIC certification, become CPIM certified. Why? Because you understood inventory control, you understood demand planning, you understood MRP and DRP at its core and at its essence, and knew what was going on. People don't understand that today, and we gloss over so many of those details because, oh yeah, we don't, just like we don't question how a phone works either. You've got to have people who understand these things at a fundamental level still, so that you can still leverage these technologies the right way. So AI is going to be a great productivity enhancer for the people who know what questions to ask and how to ask them. Don't just take it blindly.
What you said right there at the end, what questions to ask and how to ask, and I that's the key component to it for me is what AI is doing, and really maybe not necessarily AI, just technology as a whole, is sometimes it puts us in a position where we feel like we understand the problem and we understand the solution without asking the right questions. And really, until you get into a conversation with someone and ask them the right questions and really learn specifically from them what problems they're having, you can't use AI to skip that part of the process. You just can't. You're going to short circuit yourself. You're going to short circuit your partner that you're working with, and you're going to short circuit your distributorship. We're learning to ask the right questions and have the right conversations with the right people is still the most important facet of discovering a healthy distributorship, I think.
Yes, I agree. And this is coming from a guy who spent 5 years studying artificial intelligence in grad school. So yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I've been doing that since the early 90s, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's limited. It's limited. It interpolates well. It doesn't extrapolate at all.
Well, yeah. So the old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you don't really understand what you're asking it to do, you're not going to get the result you really want. You're going to get a result, right? But it's not going to always be the greatest result.
It's going to sound great, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's going to sound great to the person who doesn't know better. That's the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. But the person that really understands is going to know that's not going to work, right? That was not what we were looking for.
I think they're calling that AI slop right now.
Yeah. There you go. We have a term for it. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Go ahead,
We're repeating each other. What does the average distributor underestimate when they begin implementing a new technology?
Change management, the impact on the people. It's always comes down to their people's ability and willingness to adopt that new technology and embrace it and become proficient with it quickly. And that hasn't changed in forever. And there've been all kinds of trends that have come and gone. We're going to gamify the systems. We're going to make them more friendly. We're going to use more video. Those are great, but it still comes down to the adaptability and ability of your people to really change and morph into a new technology and understand it and be willing to do it.
Can you think about a time, maybe a story where you saw someone did really well with change management so that it wasn't a challenge?
I have seen it really is more on the customer side than our side. Like we can put all the tools in place. When I have seen things work best is when customers get into the system and start trying to operate their business as quickly as possible. When I first started consulting back in the 90s, I was teamed up with a guy from JD Edwards, who was a manufacturing consultant, gruff older guy who he was very stuck in his ways. But the one thing he said, he was in the Navy, he said, the Navy doesn't get good at firing guns unless they're out there firing their guns, right? You can't just talk about how the guns are going to work. You got to get out there and fire them. It's the same thing in technology and systems. You've got to get in there and use the system. And change management works best when people get involved early and you can connect the benefit of what the activity they're doing to the benefit they're going to get on the back end. Hey, if we get good at this, you can go home and don't connect it to their work life necessarily, but to their personal life. You're going to get out of here at 5 o'clock and get to go home and see your kid's baseball game, right? We're going to make your life better so that you can go do these other things in your life. And that's when change management really takes hold and people adopt well.
So when you have a customer that is just very timid with their change management, what message are you bottling to them? Like how are you approaching them, and what benefits are you trying to pull out to them and say, if you adopt this, this is what you can be?
Yeah, we try and have those conversations. We had a situation recently, soon to be customer, they're a prospect right now, but they're imminent here in the next week or two. But they have a warehouse manager who had put a lot of heart and soul into becoming more efficient in the warehouse. Like they did a great job. They found the solution. They're one of the better companies in their industry at fulfillment, and they were deathly afraid to give that up to move to a new platform. And so part of it was us meeting them where they were and saying, okay, great, let us come out. We're going to come on site and see what you're doing. Have you talk us through it? And then we're going to go back and help craft a solution for you and then come back and review it with you so that you're confident that you're going to get that same level of productivity, that your life isn't going to get worse, because it's that fear is the biggest motivator, right? And so if you can take away that fear that this change is going to make their life harder, that goes a long way. And so with this warehouse manager, we were able to show them a solution that was, first of all, equivalent to what they had. And then there was a little step further that made things better. It was just a little step and it didn't have to be much. And all of a sudden the floodgates open and yes, let's go. We're ready to do this.
Yeah. And so let me throw you a different scenario. And I'm sorry, I know Bill's probably got something to say too. So I don't wanna, but when you're talking specifically to either a customer or a prospect that has bad experiences, where they, we were told, we were promised this was going to make our life better, and now it's a headache, and now it's an issue. What what kind of conversations are you trying to regain that trust, or maybe not necessarily through yourself, but just through technology, and then build a customer adoption that way? What does that look like?
Yeah, that actually my career has kind of been built on what we call rescuing customers who have had that bad experience and then come to us and hopefully have a much better experience. And we've tended to do that pretty well over the years. What I like to do with those customers is try before you buy. Like, come to me with a problem. Let me go solve that for you. I'm not going to charge you anything. I'm not going to make you sign anything. No credit card down, none of that. Let's go show you we can solve this problem that you've had for a long time and show you how this is going to work. And the conversation we have with them on our website, I call it the manifesto. My team didn't like that name. They thought it was a little too too edgy, but
Yeah.
there are 15 ways out there that I think our industry is broken. And so I address all of those. And those 15 reasons or 15 ways came from customer conversations over the years. These aren't things I made up. They're just things that customers have told me. So our business model is all predicated around answering and solving those 15 things. And it is the time and materials billing, talking to salespeople. We don't have a salesperson on staff anywhere. There's no person in the role of sales or sales engineer. If you're talking to somebody, you're talking to our project managers and our solution people. So just getting past all of that, and then the incentives for our team are all geared around customer success. So that's all on our website. People can see that. We point them to that. We have videos about it. We talk about those things, but people don't often believe it, right? Because they've been burned before and they haven't seen it done differently. So it is that try before you buy. We just went through that with another customer, the customer I had lunch with yesterday. It was in this situation where they had a bad experience with their partner. And when we sat down yesterday, we'd already solved their problems. They had decided to move over with us. But when our COO and I sat down with this customer, he said, my old partner, I never communicated with the executives. I wasn't even allowed to. The fact that you guys invited me to lunch was an enormous thing. And it's so simple. It's what we should be doing, is going out and talking to our customers. And it just feels like that's going away. This feels like this conversation is centered around people so much, and it really is. You can solve any problem if you've got the people talking and in the room together. And so we try and emphasize that a lot.
Well, so you've got 15 things out, and it's on your website. The 15. Did you say
15
mistakes
ways the ERP
or 15? What was it?
Yeah, 15 ways the ERP industry is broken. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to ask you just to narrow it down to one, right? So what's that one, the greatest one of the 15 that you would tell everybody that you saw? Maybe you put it on a shirt or a billboard that every potential prospect customer would see.
Yeah, I get sideways glances when I say the biggest reason you will fail is because of your people and consultants. I think it's number 7 on the list or something, and everybody looks at me sideways. But that's the biggest reason that you will fail in any implementation, anything technology related. It's not the software. Occasionally it's the software. Sometimes salespeople get aggressive and oversell. I've seen that too. We all know the lawsuits on those. But it's the people in the business. It comes down to the adaptability and change management. It comes down to the consultants being willing to to really be consultative and not try and be the expert in the room that you have to call every time you have a problem. It's that sharing of knowledge. I used to say that when I was back in a more active implementation role, we know you're ready to go live when, I said, you know your business better than I do, you always will. I know the software better than you do, I always will. We know you're ready to go live when you know how your business runs in the software as well as I do. It's that coming together in the middle. You understand how the software is working for you as well as I do. There are going to be new features come out. I'll tell you about those. I'll help you implement them, but you've got to know how your business is going to run in here. And so it comes back to consultants that are willing to do that and put themselves out there and say, I don't need to be the expert on your business and the software, you do. And giving up that feeling of, it's almost a feeling of power, right? That the consultants have. Like, I'm the expert. I'm this brilliant person that you have to talk to. And you've got to find people who are willing to be more focused on what that customer needs to go live and sharing that knowledge and information. Because especially now we're seeing it, there's enough video out there, and you can go into a LLM model and say, how do I solve this problem in NetStock or Acumatica or NetSuite or QuickBooks, whatever it is, and the answer's out there. So the value of what's in that consultant's head is going down in terms of the pure product knowledge. It's that business knowledge and guidance that really matters, and being able to provide that was what make you successful. So going back to like consultants and your people being in the way and being your biggest source of failure, you've got to have people on the partner side that can engage with you, and you've got to be willing to engage.
That's great. Yeah.
And
I mean, that's we're gonna have to get a big billboard, Bill.
Yeah, well, and that was just one of the 15. We're going to get 15 billboards real big. We're going to put all that stuff up there, Richard.
I'll pay for half of the billboards with you.
There we go.
Happy to do it.
So last question I'll ask you, Richard, and this should be the softball, the easiest one of them all. Let's say I'm a distributor, I'm out here, I'm listening, and I would like to find more about StellarOne. I'd like to get in touch with somebody from your team. Where can I go? What can I do to learn more about you and get in touch?
Yes, the easiest way is our website, www.stellarone.io, not .com.io. Our contact information's out there, and we've got videos, we've got a learning center, the 15 ways the industry's broken, and the 15 ways we solve those problems are all out there. The other thing I love about our website is you can actually get a real live price down to the dollar for a monthly subscription, all in for the platform and our engagement with you. And that is the price, and it's got a 5-year price lock. So,
wow,
yes,
that's fantastic. Yeah, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Upfront pricing. Where have you heard that before, Corey?
Upfront pricing. Yeah, I know. It seems like a novel concept. Nobody. I laugh. There's so many things we could talk about, guys. I know, but I always use the example of, you don't go into a car dealership and ask how many hours it took to build the car, and the car dealer doesn't say, you don't ask how much the car costs. They say, well, it depends. Well, they kind of do, but no, the car's this. Do you want this other option? Okay, let's talk about the options and things to help round it out. But the car's here. It starts here. You know that. And that's, and I'm surprised anybody lets a partner or supplier or vendor get away with not giving them a price. And of course, we know the salespeople, well, let's have a discovery call so we can find out what you need so I can tell you how much it costs. Come on, guys. We can do better.
Well, I'm going to have to go evaluate my own notes now. No, I thank you for your time, Richard, and I really appreciate the conversation. I really think what we've done is we've crafted a conversation here that will help any distributor, regardless of where they are in digital transformation, as they're looking to adopt that, whether you're just starting out or whether you're seasoned in it, and this is something that's part of your culture. I really think you could benefit from the conversation we just laid out. So I really appreciate your expertise.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great being here. Real pleasure, and happy to come back again and talk through the other 14 if you want to.
Yeah. So about to say, we need to
lay it out, right? We'll do one a quarter, and how many years will that take us to get to the 15?
I might be retired by then.
Well, let me say a quick thank you to the listener for jumping on and listening to another episode of Tech Talk Evolving Distribution. Don't forget, episodes coming out the first and the third Thursday of every month. We also have a newsletter on LinkedIn that we would love for you to be a part of. We're regularly posting to that as well, and love for you to be a part of the community there. Richard, thanks again. We really appreciate your time today. And anything that you have to say to take us out, Bill?
No, I really appreciate it. And I think go quickly, go see what those 15 things are, right? Go find out what it is that the other people aren't willing to openly say out loud, right? Be upfront with it.
Yeah.
StellarOne.io.
Yes.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Bill.
Yes. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. Thanks for tuning in.
and we hope you've gained some valuable insights on how to embrace digital transformation and stay ahead in the distribution industry.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Aldrich Web Solutions, for supporting this podcast. With over 20 years of experience, they've been helping distributors win online and maximize their digital presence. Be sure to check them out if you're ready to take your business to the next level.
And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And of course, share this with anyone who could benefit from this conversation.
We'll be back next time with more expert insights. And until then, keep evolving and embracing change.